To me, there are two big mysteries without answers in Mario Maker 2. One is what rank or what happens after S+ rank in multiplayer versus, as no one knows yet. And the other one, the one we are going to be focusing on today, is what is the other game theme hidden here? It seems pretty obvious that there will be another game theme added as DLC, because not only is there an open space here, but the title is also plural, saying extra game themes. So today, I want to run through each mainline Mario game in chronological order, and rate their chance of being added into Super Mario Maker 2. So let's jump into it. Our first one is the Lost Levels, and this one definitely has a 0% chance, as it's way too similar to Super Mario Bros. 1, and there would also be no reason to put it in extra game styles, as it works very similarly to the other four. We then have Super Mario Bros. 2 USA, and I personally think this is the most likely one. It's been heavily requested to be added, and it would make sense to go into extra game styles since it has so many different mechanics, such as throwing things to kill enemies. It also likely wouldn't be as hard to implement as, say, another 3D game. It's also a pretty big game in the Mario franchise's history because it introduced Toad and Peach as playable characters, and introduced many enemies such as Shy Guys and Bob-ombs. So yeah, I say this is very likely. Now, Super Mario Land, I think, has an extremely low chance for two reasons. The main one is that its main power-up, the Super Ball Flower, is seen in the Super Mario Bros. Game theme already. I feel like that means it already has a decent amount of representation. Also, I don't think it's different enough to fit into the extra game styles area, so I'm going to have to say that it's not likely for this one. While I do think Super Mario Land 2 is a bit more likely than the original Mario Land, I still don't think it's too likely, as I don't believe it has enough differences to go into extra game styles. Okay, so now here's a pretty interesting one. Super Mario 64. For one, it's definitely different enough to be into the extra game styles, as it is in 3D. However, there are a few issues. For one, there aren't any flagpoles in Mario 64. Okay, well those don't count. I mean, there aren't any flags to end the level, as you have to collect the stars. Also, Mario 64 already has music that can be used in all themes. Personally, I still think that they can make it work by having a star always at the end, just like the box in Super Mario Bros. 3. Also, the song isn't as big of a reference as using the main power-up of a game like Super Mario Land. Seeing how Super Mario 64 is also the first 3D Mario game, it certainly isn't impossible, but I'm not going to go around saying it's likely. Now, I cannot see them including Sunshine in before Mario 64, because all of the issues that Mario 64 had apply to this game as well. However, Mario 64 is first. So I see this as pretty unlikely. However, if we do get more than one theme as DLC, and Mario 64 was the first one, then maybe Sunshine could come, but as it stands, I don't think it's very likely at all. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover all of the new Super Mario Bros. Games at once. No. Their art style, except maybe DS, are too similar to Mario U. And even if that wasn't a factor, they certainly would not be in extra game styles, as they work perfectly with the other main four themes, so these are not likely at all. Mario Galaxy run into the same problem as Sunshine, with having music already in the game and needing to collect stars. However, Mario Galaxy is a bit more linear, and has a bit more things that are in all of Mario Maker 2 themes, such as question mark blocks, Goombas, etc. So I think it's more likely than Sunshine, but probably around the same likelihood as 64, being not very likely. Personally, I don't see them putting 3D Land in. While it would fit into the extra game styles, it's a little too close to 3D World aesthetically, and doesn't really stick out. It'd be a bit disappointing, so I feel like, while not impossible, it is very, very unlikely. Okay, so here we are, our final theme, my most wanted theme, Mario Odyssey. There are actually a few bits of evidence that may point to this being in the game. For one, despite having one of the best soundtracks of any Mario game, not a single one of its songs are in the game. Besides technically the Super Mario Kart one, but that originated in Super Mario Kart. This is very strange considering it's the most recent Mario mainline title, and you would think they would try to include at least one reference to it. Also, Mario Odyssey could definitely work in 2D, as there are a ton of 2D areas in Odyssey, not even including the 2D pixel areas. The only real issues I could think of are the lack of power-ups, which I think would be fine if power-ups took a break or were just replaced with hearts, and the power moons, which like I said earlier could just be at the end of a level. Heck, they could even just add a flag to all the 3D themes I mentioned earlier, as Mario could just grab onto them like a pole. I made a whole video on how a Mario Odyssey theme might work, so if you're curious about that, then I would suggest checking that out. Now this may just be my heavy Mario Odyssey bias, as it is my favorite game ever, but I actually see this being decently likely. Definitely in the top half of the ones I've mentioned today. But anyways, that's it for this video. Here's an image of a tier list of the likelihood of each theme. Which themes would you all like to see? Let me know in the comments. Obviously Mario Odyssey is the one I want to see the most, but I'm really curious to hear all of yours. If you enjoyed this video at any point, then please make sure to hit that like button and maybe even subscribe, as it would help me out a huge bunch. All the videos that aren't mine are linked in the description. You can also find my Twitter link in the description, so follow me there if you're interested. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.